show you something that is probably the most valuable thing that you will not see any other lay player play. And this is a wake up, creating an okizeme. So a wake up situation where you will give your opponent guaranteed. You will put him into the situation of dealing with your 50-50 mix-up, which is guaranteed. And lots of people play something like this. You will have to bear with me because I'm not really gonna be execution-wise. They play something like this. Execution-wise, I'm not gonna be perfect here because I'm trying to explain something too. So let's try this again. So you will see people showing you some stuff like this. This is actually not the combo that I'm usually using so much. So you go here and then you do this and you give them the mix-up. Okay, so far so good. But I think that really only works well if you use the back turn version of the combo here, of the classical running 3 combo. If you play this one, for example, no back turn, it will drop her farther away, and you will have your problems reaching it. You know, you will go like this, for example. You can't, I could reach her, but you will see in many cases it will be very close because also the 3-4 is easier from this one. So if you play, that's why the back turn version actually is more favorable, although I'm not really good at using it here. Because this 3-4 is pretty much guaranteed, and if you just play it without the back turn, by my experience, what happens is that this one is not as guaranteed. Probably because the wall is here, I don't know. That's just my experience when playing. And what I do instead, and I think this is the quickest transition and it also moves you forward quite a bit, is the very, very good move of lay. I would actually recommend using it to the left side because more people are sidesteppable to the left. So if you use it in-game, you play like this. By habit, I play it to the other side, but learning it this way is the better way. And you can play both sides if you're really good, but since there's so much to learn with lay, maybe you start by learning sidestepping into one direction. And what you do is you play this after dropping the combo before the running 3-4. So you go like this. Like this. You drop the combo, you make the sidestep. There you are. Okay, so I have set it to spring kick because I want to show you something. You will catch all wake-ups attacks. Maybe I showed this before. We can set this to random and see what happens. We say random, then we say random. And now let's go. Side roll. I catch it and I launch her for another full combo. So, you go like this, play your combo, if you're capable of doing it. You play your combo, and then you transition, then you go like this. If you're at the wall, you play something like this, probably. If not, you play the optimal tiger, which would be this one here. That's the optimal tiger, but you see the last one misses a lot. This is also what happens to you if you play this here without the back turn. Probably it changes if you play a 1 in there. I don't know. The point is, you will catch all wake-ups, I think, despite the spring kick, and also despite the spring kick, and also despite the low block, of course. So people can block low, but you don't have to play low. You know what you can also do, of course, is you go and hello, sir. You go and play a high. You transition, and then you play a high, like this one, for example. Dude, come on. Well, maybe I should practice this before I play a good tutorial. I'm just so bad at playing this combo. So, then you can play this one. It's not going to catch the side roll, for example. The other one is going to hit it. It's probably not gonna launch, but it's gonna hit a low at least. That's probably the only one that also helps to escape the side roll. But if you go like, dude, it's so simple. What am I doing? So you can also play the 2-2. Yeah, that's also good against the spring kick actually. That's one of your options. But what do you do when you set it to spring kick, when somebody spring kicks, for example? Somebody does that. The tiger after this transition is perfect because it's going to leave you quite a bit away. And sometimes what you also need to do is make one step forward to catch the people. For example, you will get a feeling for that. If you watch some of my gameplay videos that I'm going to post over time, you will notice, you will see how I'm going to apply it. So I'm going with this, like this, like this, and I transition, and then I walk back, and I launch. So if people get the idea, he's playing it low, I'm just going to play that spring kick, wait for a little second, see what they're doing, because there's no need to hurry, you know. With Tiger, you can be very far away. If you're here, for example, I'm going to launch. You see that? So that's a very good thing. You can be somewhere around here. That's probably too far. From here you won't reach it, but it's very close. So from here, if somebody's grounded, you can have such a lot of distance between that, and then you just launch. Well, of course you don't just jump on them, but you know, you get the point. You know, where's the tiger? Even from there, I can launch. I was just slow doing this, but the point is, the second one here has to be played real quick. So that's what you do, okay? And this is one of the most valuable things that I can say. Even the spring kick, if you play it really quick, you will catch them. But this is the one thing that I've never seen with any other lay player, which is so much more, by my feeling, superior than just using this one here after the drop. Because you don't have to dash like crazy, you can't mess up the timing, and if someone does any wake-up attack, you will be far enough away. The only thing that propels you forward, and you don't even need to move forward, you know. You don't need to dash or anything. All you do is play the sidestep, and it's gonna move you forward just enough. There I am. Okay. And you can then sometimes move a step backwards, a step forward, whatever you want to do, you know. And this is something that I can maybe show in some of my gameplay footage. I'm using it a lot, and it gives a perfect mix-up. There's no way for the opponent to prevent this mix-up. You can also, of course, play it from something like this here. Attack, like so. That's what you can do. And if the opponent side rolls, you're gonna launch. If they just get up normal, they launch. And then if somebody starts blocking it, you just mix it up with something like this here. This is not the optimal combo I'm playing here, just something like that. Okay. So what I like to play, for example, from Tiger 2, it drops almost 10 damage to the optimal combo, so I might want to improve on that. But it's simple. I just dash forward, play this one, and this. And it leaves the opponent well enough away to play one of the other okizemes that I want to show. I can do that. Maybe we don't set it to spring attack, but we make random. I set it to random again. Random. So what I'm doing is the following thing. I'm gonna play. Let's play. I just play this one here to demonstrate. Simple, but dashing forward. Dun dun dun. Then I jump like this, and then I launch. Okay, this one here gives a launch. Come on. You will always land. You will land very close to your opponents, and you can use it as a mix-up too. Even if you drop the 3-4, you can also do that. Or if you finish, like I said, with 3-2-1, for example, after this little tiger combo, you will just be lying in front of your opponent, and it will create some kind of pseudo mix-up. Because what he can just do is he can low kick you, and probably he can use the toe kick. Probably you can also use this against the tiger, but there you're too far away. I think here you're very close in many occasions, and of course you can play the high, which you can see gives you plus 11 frames, which is pretty good. So there's something that almost always works after this kick, and it's this throw. People are not gonna guard it. Okay, you hit them, they guard, and they're not gonna counter that throw. They never do. I don't know why. I think I have never seen someone do it. Probably after a lot of matches he's played against me, and it gives you so many plus frames, plus 11. People don't think that it's so it has such a lot of plus frames. So whatever they do, they can't even closely get out an attack. If you hit this one, it's over. And so that's what you can do. You can mix up the low situation from here into any combo. There's also a better one to this here, but it's not only always about having optimal combos, you know. You don't need optimal combos to reach Fujin and so on. It helps, but you don't need that. You just play the combo you're most comfortable with. And not only damage counts, but also the situation. Because if I play something like an optimal combo from here, which is maybe something like something that ends up with this one here, you'll be in a shit position. In a bad position, I'm sorry. So your opponent will have there will be a lot of spacing. Of course, you have options to get close to him like this, create mix-ups. But if you're so far away and you're not in any of your positions where you can launch someone, you can't reach this one, you can't create a mix-up with this one. You're not in Tiger, and even if you are, you're too far away. So I don't like this combo. I don't like combos ending with this one here if it's not really close to the wall. So that, because at the wall, of course, there will be not as much pushback. I will be in a better position, but still, I'm not gonna be in the position to launch with a Tiger or something. So that's why I don't like this very much. Also, it seems like, yeah, I get a lot of plus frames, I guess, but I would have to try out if this really translates well. What I prefer is to play something like this. And then I jump, then I launch. This is strong, you know. This is a very strong mix-up too, because if people are used to having your Tiger mix-up from here, here I would need to go one step there. That's why what I usually sometimes do, I'm just going to show you that. I play this one, I drop even more damage, like so. And then I just launch them again. And they never really know how far they are gonna be away. This is also a way of creating mix-ups. People forget this. You cannot only create mix-ups by playing moves. You can also create mix-up by not playing them. So let's say if I play this here in 80% of the time, the opponent is going to be used to be very far away from me, and he knows that if I play this one after a little while and I go into the Tiger, I will sometimes, if he goes into back turn or something else, have to do one step and get close to him. But then, what I suddenly do, I do something else. I drop this, and then I'm close. And this is also some kind of way to create mix-ups. And what you want to do as well, yeah, is vary between the Tiger, okizeme, and between the what's the move called? Let's see what the name of the move is. It's forward, whatever. Where is it? It's not the dragon whip. Is it? Well, I don't know. Let's just say this jumping move. Yeah, maybe it's the dragon whip. It's the dragon whip, I think. 4-4, 3-4. So you want to mix up these things. You want to go. Sometimes you want to go like this. Play this. You can do better there, of course, at the wall. But and sometimes you want to do something else. Sometimes you want to do something like this. You get him far away and you do this, and then sometimes I just low kick. I don't even launch, and then I go for another panther. Just do different things. But you use these two mix-ups. You go into the Tiger, at okizeme after a drop of the running 3-4, or you do this one and then you play either the high and the throw. You don't even need much more, but the throw is always gonna work. Um, or you're just gonna play the low. You're gonna launch someone like this. So most of the things I'm gonna play here are not optimal. What I'm trying to score with when I'm playing lay is being versatile and playing things that well, create good advantageous situations for me. So we have this okizeme mix-ups. Of course, there are others, like some people say, like you can go like this on wake up and play this one here. But I don't really do it because the other two are by far enough. And what you should sometimes do is when you play this one, just do a low block after this. Get up and do a low block again. If somebody starts kicking low, you can just wake up with a low. And there's some other very important thing to it. You can, if you're holding down with this one, you can go into the real lying stance, not the grounded stance that lays in, which is this one, because this will open him up for a lot more moves. It doesn't look like it, but the hitbox allows for a lot of mids to hit, and also for a lot of lows that don't hit this one. So many people don't use this to slay, but it's really important that you can get into this grounded stage. You see how he's lying there? That's what he's doing. And if I'm going like this and I don't hold low, don't hold down, he has his knee upwards. And people can kick you out of it easily. And if you see somebody do it, try it. Try it another way. If somebody does it 2 or 3 or 4 times, you get down, you do like this. You wait until his kick misses. Even low kicks miss this position. Then you play the 2 button, or and then get up again and launch him. That's it. That's a mix-up too. So people will try to low kick you here, and if they start doing this, just play it like this, and there you are. So what you do is you launch them, and then you hold down. You wait for the kick, you get up, you play like this. Okay, something like this. That's very important to keep in mind because other things also have this. There is another wake up option that is really nice, and this is this one here, the tornado kicks. Most people don't use it, and if you hold down, you can also get into the same grounded state. So keep this in mind. This is very important because people don't have so many moves that hit grounded. They have a lot of moves or some moves that can hit you out of your lay specific stances, where your knee or your foot is placed very differently and you're not lying really flat on the ground. But they cannot kick you out of the others. So what you can also do is you play a combo, you drop the last one here, and then you go like this into the mix-up. And if the people get up there, what you can do is, let's say random, what I want is standing guard. So, well, let's say I'm just gonna play it like this, and then I'm gonna. Okay, this is not a good example because it's too far away actually. So what you would need to do here is take one step, then do it. You see, I'm at +3. This is important. Many people and many lay players are really obsessed with lying after the tornado kicks. And each tornado kick is gonna leave you second one 2, third one 2 at +3. Most of the people will do something like a low parry, duck, or a hop kick. Duck guard or hop kick. And this hop kick is actually a very famous thing people do there. It's like when I play against Xiaoyu, for example, or against Lei myself, I see him do any kind of fancy schmancy stuff. He ends up in back turn or in a kind of a transition. People auto hop kick. Okay, And you can work with this. You can work with this because you have fabulous low frame options from the back turn. At least they are high, but they work so many times and they allow you to create great mix-ups. So you can use this as the third variation. Okay, I've set this to guard, so let's do it like this. Here I need the extra step. Then bam, bam, bam. This one here, 10 frame. It's a 210 frame with a follow-up. It's interruptible, and but it's a high mid. So if people don't interrupt it really quickly, they will get hit by the mid, and you will get into your grounded position. What you can do from there is play this one, which almost always works because the people start to duck once you're lying. So this is a very, very good mix-up, and I score points with this a lot of times because most of the lay players don't use it, and that's why nobody knows it. And it has a high probability to really work, especially because many situations you're gonna be at the wall after a combo, and this is gonna wall split even. So what you can do, you launch. If you are far away, you get a little bit closer. Play this one, this one, this one, and if this doesn't work, you have this one to launch. So this is a really nasty combination. This is something that is gonna drive people nuts, you know. You even have other mix-up because once you're laying, you can play between the highs and the lows. If I just play, if I just play this one and I get down like this, of course I could also slide. Takes a little bit more frames. But it's very effective, especially if the opponent backdashes. So what you also have, and you cannot use this in the open, because in the open you have one problem, that this has very low reach. So it reaches now, but in a situation where somebody backdashes, it won't work many times. It doesn't work. So what I do, I play this at the wall. I play like this, like this. I play the mix-up. I'm at plus frames. Oh, there was the random. She was lying down. If somebody lies down there at the wall, you just go and play these things, you know, these tornado kicks. You pull them through, you're gonna hit all three. So that's also something that's a pro for the tornado kicks. They do a lot of damage. If they're in the open and they decide to stay grounded because they're afraid of your other mix-ups, the ones I showed you before, this tornado kick is going to hit for 2 kicks if you're doing it the right way, and this is going to subtract a substantial amount of health from them, and it's going to make them wake up again. What doesn't work with the tornado kicks is if someone wakes up with a side roll. Let's see. I want to show something before. I want to show you the mix-up with a grab, because it's really strong too, and it also wall breaks. So I will show you this in a minute. I will mix up the topics a little bit because they're somehow connected with each other, and I'm just going to show you what I know. So I'm going to do this again, this very fabulous combo. I get close, one step, I wait a little bit. Oops, that's the other option. You get high, you do like this. Bam, 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 bam. And then, yeah, now I got grounded. Okay, these are the mix-ups. Whatever, I messed it up. Let's do it again. You get up, your feet, do this combo. Okay, let's go, like that. Oh, she used the spring kick, you see, or something else, or the quick recovery kick. Wake up, get up kick. So I hit her for a lot of damage. You know, that all did like 96 damage. I didn't even hit all moves, I guess, but I did. So it's pretty favorable, this mix-up. Let's see if the random is gonna be more in my favor now. Hey, dude. Launch. Step. Oh, yeah. I was running. Okay. Can wait for a minute. And then you play the back turn throw. Now, if people block a lot after this one because they notice they're in plus frames and they know you have the low mix-up, you do this one here. Bam. And then you can go there again, like so. Whatever. This move is something underrated too. base don't play it, but at the wall it's awesome, and I'm gonna show you why it's especially awesome. We will set this one. We will set this one here to where is it? Restart settings. Balcony break. Okay, so you go to the balcony break, and then let's say you have her in this position. You're at +3. You have finished with your tornado kicks. You're gonna do that. What happens? Just with a regular normal combo and the finish for the wall amateur maximum, you get additional damage. You get a full 89 damage combo out of it, and I think that's not really bad. No. So that's a very good option if you do have some of the balcony break. You can't backdash at the wall. You're gonna be close after the tornado kicks. If you've probably played this one before and he doesn't understand that after this one move he can interrupt you, then he knows a mid is coming after this, so he's also not gonna try to duck or launch you, because this is a true 10 frame move after the hit, and you're at +3, meaning he needs some really quick move to get you out of this and the follow-up. And most of the people don't do it. Some high-level players understand this is interruptible. But of course you can mix it up with something like this, or even something like this. Okay, that's what you can do. What you want to do is just create these mix-ups. This one, of course, has few frames. It's a counter hit, so if you do it at the wall, it's gonna knock down. And what I like to do after this, if I'm playing this one and I hit, I just play the jump kick. I just play the falling tree like this. I probably play another one, the opponent gets up, I play this one, then he starts to duck, I launch him again. That's very powerful, It's also a good mix-up to, if people, if they're guarding, they're gonna block it, but it's not really, I think it's always safe. And that's what you can do, and of course as a mid option, you have your, you have this punch. What else is your mid option? Of course, this one it's not a real true 14 frames, I think, but I'm not sure. From back turns, sometimes you have to add the transition with some moves, but with some you don't have the frames to add the frames for the transition. It's quite some time ago that I lapped this. So this one is a true 10 frame. I tried this, so it means it's your quickest move from back turn together with this one. Both are high. And after that, probably the crouch step, of course. No, like this. You could do something like, you would probably need to use the 2-1, but it has bad reach, so it's not really such a good option. If somebody, and he can it's also special made, so they can also launch you as if it's alone. So at this wall, you have these mix-ups, and most of the people after some time, or really quickly, they will start blocking because they notice they cannot interrupt this one. They just can't. So they're gonna block. They're at +3. They can't interrupt this one. They're afraid of the mix-up, which is either this one, or this one, or if you turn around, even these mix-ups here. You can get into these mix-ups, of course. And if you play this one, here, of course what you always want to do here is not play the second kick. You just want to play this one to get into the combo. You have to practice this because automatically you will sometimes play both. And since the people start blocking, you end up there, and then you throw them, especially here. And then you just launch them for some hefty 89 damage. I think that's pretty valuable, That's pretty valuable to me. So it doesn't happen a lot of times. You got to think about it. You got to be aware of it. But that's what I have so far. I can show you We have these three okizemes. So we have going into the tiger. I will not play them all right now again. We will go going into the tiger, creating high-low mix-ups or mid-low. You have to watch out with this one. The further you get, the more people launch the second one. You can hit confirm it, but I'm not good with this yet. So, but you can do this, and the second one is a high, so people can duck it. And your other option is to play Tiger 2. And what I recommend, since it leaves you in crouching, is you just throw. You have access to your generic throws from crouch, and since you're +2, you're the only thing that your opponent can do is straight with a jab. But I don't know if he's gonna hit you. You're quite some bit away, probably. Many people don't do because they know you're at plus range. They don't really know how many. They don't know it's only 2. So maybe they're just gonna be careful and block, and then you throw. They can break this throw, which is okay. And after people break your throw, what I usually do is play down jab. Because either they're going to play a quick high, or they're going to play any kind of attack, and since you're at frame disadvantage, you just play the quickest move and the most evasive move you have, and this is this one. So, if somebody breaks this throw, throw it, crouch jab, until they get your pattern. You will interrupt them, end up with plus 5 frames, and then you can just go throw them again. Or use the other throw, the non-generic throw. You can of course use this too, but since it is a forward input, it takes more frames. So, and people also, the higher you get, they think you're always gonna command throw. So sometimes it's even favorable to not do it, and that's when I don't do it. The other one that you have guaranteed, probably as a round ender, is this one with a mid if they're crouching, or this one here, which is 12 frame low. So if someone doesn't have a lot of health, you don't need to any fancy stuff. Just do this and this. You have to watch out that you don't get into this move because it's similar into it. So you just have to get your timing right. Yeah, but it also works. It's 15 frames. Usually you hit them, they will guard high because you're at frame advantage, and they don't see you anywhere near a sweep or anywhere near a tiger transition thing. So yeah, that's basically what you can do as a mix-up from the tiger transition. Also, if you're more far away, or even if you're close, you might want to play this one here. You can also do is keep holding forward, and you get down. If people block it, they will probably retaliate with jabs because they think they can punish you or something. So they can't if you're just getting down, and then play this one. Also, this is not the max damage. So this is something you can do out of the tiger on wake up, and most likely in many cases you just want to go for the low and something like a mix up. what you can do then is also you have this okizeme, and you have the variation between the mid and a quick throw for starters, and launching low. You also have the option to get into the real grounded stance. I think this also launches on counter hit. And you can get back into the other stance by pressing 1. Like when you're grounded, you press the 2. You press the 2 to switch between these lying stances. And the last option is the tornado kicks, which I just showed. I like to keep standing. Also because people think I'm gonna lie down. Then you can vary again. Of course, you can have some variations with the number of tornado kicks. And if you're lying down, you have the mix-up between the low launcher and the high launcher. And also here you have the opportunity, if you're holding down, to get into the rear ground stand. I can really not emphasize enough how important it is to use this in a lot of ways. And then you can get up again, do this after they missed their kick. Okay. There's one more thing to say about these tornado kicks. And one is that if somebody quick rolls, if it does a side roll left, no, that's not it. So side quick roll to the right. Probably we can see things better there. It's not gonna hit. So if I'm gonna do it like this, I'm gonna miss. Okay. Let's try the tiger. No, I can. No, I want to. Yeah, I can deactivate the blocking here. Actually, I also think I can make a second hit and first hit or whatever, but I don't care. Let's say stand. I'm gonna launch them practically. Get into a more favorable position with this one. Now they will. Yeah, this one hits. Okay, maybe I was a little bit slow. Let's try this out again. Okay, this one hits here, probably because of the nature of the combo. Let's try to play the full combo. Did I set it to quick roll? Maybe I still have to say this one here to set this one here to, I don't know, side roll left is barely the wrong thing. Let's check out if this works. Okay. Let's see if she's gonna fall into, get into the quick roll. There, yeah, but she's back turned. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's why this one is special. Maybe that's also a reason why I like to play it. Yeah, that's true. She's face down, feet towards me. And this is very interesting. That's also a good reason to play this move. Because if she does any wake-up attacks, she does not have access to the quick roll, right? Let's see what happens if I do it like this. There's the quick roll. That's interesting. Maybe that's why I used to play this and drop the damage too. There. It's a different wake-up. Yeah, it's because this one here... that's even different. There she has access to the side roll. So it seems to be the combination out of the combo, out of the floating state here. Look at that. That's very interesting. I will show you why in a minute. So what you can do, I can try to display it with another combo. Why does it hit her? That's weird. Because many times when people side roll, it seems like it's not gonna hit. Let's see. There. Okay, there. People side roll sometimes, and you will see it missed. But what I do then is I just play it, get down, and launch them. It's the same mix-up, okay? You play like this, you know they're gonna side roll. You've watched them, you know they're gonna side roll, so that's why it's important to observe what your opponent is doing. Most people use the same wake-up attacks. Okay, fine, I'm in a very good position. What I can do is play either... Well, it doesn't hit. So that's why I probably prefer to play the low then. And actually it really works a lot of times, because after side rolling, people don't really tend to duck. I don't know why, but I don't do it too. That's my experience. So I'm going like this, going like, whoop, like this, and like this. I'm going down, doing this one. Of course, playing the second move here is a mistake again. What you would really want to do is play something like this. And then go into the combo. Like so. Get some additional damage. This is what you can do with the tornado kicks. And I think for now that's all about it. What I want to show you now is something just came to my mind when you play. If you play like this and you use this sort of combo, because actually it doesn't do a lot of damage. Look at it. It does 46. I think the max damage is 56. But it involves an ending with this one here. I don't like it. I'm at +1 right now. I don't like it. What I like is to play this one, and I know why I also like this now. Probably subconsciously. I also realized that, and I was playing it for several thousand times maybe. You play this one because your opponent is in a very bad wake-up situation right now. Because some people tend to low kick on wake-up, for example. First of all, it seems like the side roll doesn't work as well if you're backturned. So I did hate her most of the times. I don't know. It seems unfavorable to me, but I'm not an expert for all of the ground techniques. Um, what I can do now is use another one. I can use something that people like to use a lot against lay, or in locked in general, and this is the wake up low kick. And let's see if I'm going here, playing this one, and then I'm guarding low. At least we're at -17. If I don't do that, if I play any other combo, drops her like this, she's at -12. Because if you're face down, your low kicks are launch punishable. If not, you're not. So if you notice that someone is always playing a low kick, you're running into it quite frequently with your wake up things, you might want to play something like this combo with such an ending. Float them and then a 3-2-1. You drop 10 damage, but you have a very good position. You go like this, bam, you launch. So that's what you can do. And that's why it's really, really interesting to have this sort of combo that you're not going to see anywhere else. I would have to try out if there's any way to improve on this. Like you play another jab or whatever in it. But then I'm missing. So I don't care. I don't want all the damage. I want good situations. This one is what I like. That's what I like. So keep in mind to experiment with your combos and also see and realize what the wake up situation of your opponent is. Because I think also the high kick from this position should be launch punch. We do the mid wake up kick. Some people also use that a lot. You notice your opponent does this a lot. He's at -14. Okay, that's not the world. But if you know it, that's something that people don't do in the lower ranks, that I didn't do too, but it's really good. You set up your opponent in some kind of a wake-up situation, and you know he's in the situation. So all he can do is use these two unfavorable kicks, and if he uses these kicks a lot from other wake-ups, he's maybe going to do it, or most likely going to do it here too. He thinks, I'm just going to apply the same pattern, and you give him this wake-up situation. You know, this is a mix-up with your wake-ups. And then a hefty 47, not guaranteed, but most people don't eat it when there's a punish, when you use it as a punisher. They don't block it. So, or you go into a mix-up. This one again. Bam. So create situations if somebody always is in another wake-up situation and he uses the low kick, for example, and you think, wow, this is really getting annoying. You can retrain it, or you can abuse it, whatever you want to call it. You can make him not use it, or you can make him pay. Like, yeah, like this. Bum, bum, bum. You get low. Lock. And that's it. You can do better, of course. Do get more damage out of it. But that's the way it works. And that's why I personally really, really like to use something really uncommon. Also having this variation with only dropping another 3 damage and getting the opponent a little closer. If someone, for example, always likes to wake up guarding backwards, so for example like this, if someone always does this, or yeah, if somebody creates distance, backdashes a lot, I say, well, dude, I give a shit. 3 damage and you get closer, I can launch you again. Sometimes even only play this one, then go for the mix-up. Okay, so that's it for the wake-up situations concerning the mix-ups. that are not just by moves, but also by creating distance, by dropping combos, by creating certain wake-up situations. Another wake-up situation that's important to know, especially at the wall, is that this was also going to create a face-down situation. So if somebody does this, you can also hit him by this and then block this one. You can do this without dropping the combo. Attack. Alright, minus 20. There we go. So if somebody always uses these wake-up kicks, either he's not gonna pick them from here because he knows it's stupid, or you just put him into this position. Because at the wall you have also a strong move, which is this one. Okay, this has a different knockdown. That's interesting, you see? Because it's a combo. And because here he's already Xiaoyu is already airborne. That's why it doesn't work. So this one, in its purity, you can just not transition, go there, hit this one. Okay, create wake-up situations where you know that people are face down. That's something that Azukas probably do a lot at the wall. Kazumis do a lot at the wall when they're playing one of their wall finishers. They're always gonna put you in a face down position. So your frames for wake up kicks are not very good there. And I don't know if you even have the toe kick. You shouldn't have it. If I do this one, nope. Okay. So what else is there to know? What else is there to know that other people are not gonna tell you? They will say lace frames are not good, but they are. Some of them are, and you gotta know he has so many moves. That's why his frames aren't bad. He has so many moves that he probably has an equivalent of moves that have very good frames to other characters. But if you play his whole move pool, you have a lot of punishable moves too. So what you want to understand is when Lei has a favorable frame situation and create these, because people will not think about Lei as a frame efficient character, and even if they're if they're opponents that know your character very well. First of all, many people tend to jab with this one here, get into the snake, or this one here because it does more damage. But the true gimmick that you have for poking, jabbing, is the 1-2. And you can also see some footage of me playing Lei where he uses this a couple of times, and experienced Lei players. If you see some Lei player using the 1-2 jab, he's gonna know what he's doing, because this one gives you one more plus frame compared to this one. It gives you even 3, and compared to this snake transition, you're in the snake, and this is not so good because people know you don't have access. You're vulnerable to certain moves. You don't have access. You can block, but you don't really have access to a quick low, for example. So you can get in there and do some stuff, mix-ups. Many people try that. It's good, but you can't do it all of the time. This one is what you can always do. It's very quick. The animation is very quick. This one is a lot slower. And even if you play this without the transition, you're at +5. And that's a good thing. You can play the snake without the transition because it has way more reach than this one. Look, if I'm playing from here, if I'm playing this one, the first one doesn't hit. So it's not a true 10-frame move. People can whiff punish you easily, or just by accident hit you before you hit them. And what you can do is play the snake. I didn't reach it too, but it has more reach. Here, I'm able to reach someone with a snake if I'm getting at this range. Let's see. I'm hitting. If I'm getting at this range with this one, I'm hitting too. Well, I think it has more range. I wish I could find a better way to check out. Maybe it's just the second hit. See, no, I think it has more range. This was about the same range, I think, and I think it has a little more range. So if you're not reaching this here for punishing your opponent, or try this one, it has more reach. This one doesn't have more reach, but the second one is a mid. So if somebody starts ducking this one, use this one. Also, the second move seems to track or because of the combo it realigns because of the time it takes. So if somebody sidesteps, for example, at the beginning of a round, play this one instead of this one. And why I like this one is because it's +6 on hit, which is pretty good by my, as far as I think. But not only that, on block it's -1, so it's pretty neutral. Somebody can hit you with a 10 hit move or trade with an 11 frame move, but he has to be real quick. The animation is quick. You can go annoy your opponent with this, of course, and since you're neutral, you can play another move, this one, the D4 low, which if people don't block is also neutral. You can mix them up and always stay neutral. If you mix this one in, of course, you're at -4, which is still good. But you can go something like this if you want to poke. People say Lei is not a good poking character, but I don't agree. You just gotta practice. I'm not really good at it, but you can do like this, annoy someone. What's good is always play 2 lows. People will adjust. Play this one here, then probably a jab at the wall. Especially, you can annoy your opponent, then go into something else. If you hit this one, you can go for this one because you're at +7. All this kind of knowledge will come with time. But you just got to keep in mind that the 1-2 is a linear move, but it's a very quick animation. It's a 10-frame jab combo that is natural combo. It will yield you only 4 less damage than this one, so it's worth the trade-off because this one will leave you at -8, giving up the turn, and this one will you can even sweep most of the time. People will not block low, but still they will not respond quickly enough and with a low frame move, so that you can try that and it will work a lot of times. If not, you can play, you're at neutral, you can play anything you want, just as if nothing happened. You play this one, for example, which also leaves you at -3 and back turn, but it's okay, and is a 14 frame move. So yeah, someone can trade. A launcher is going to trade, which is also not too great, but it's okay. What I like to play is the low. After this, what I like to play is probably this one here, because launchers are not gonna work. It's a 13 frame move. You will counter a launcher and you will be at +7 after hit. What else is there? Of course, you can play 2 of them, or what you can do is mess up your opponent with this stuff, and it's quite a long combo and people will probably try to interrupt it, so you can use this one with a delay. The second one it's a little bit tough because there's the delay. That was too slow. But people might want to interrupt you because people are just so used to interrupting you, especially at lower levels. They don't block a lot. They just want to say, no, it's a mix-up, I gotta get out of it, or it's a combo. What am I gonna do? It's gonna end and I'm just gonna jab because I'm afraid that he's gonna start a new one. And you just play a lot of moves, and this one is what you almost get for free. Because it's a 10 frame move after being -1. And what you can also do is just play your combo, like so. Your 10 frame combo, you can do that. You can play an evasive move like this one here. Of course, what I don't really do a lot, you can sidestep. You can try this one. It's only 16 frames, it's a good guess. And you have to keep in mind to beat your frame data here, people have to respond to this very quick animation very quickly. They have to immediately go and retaliate. So, what else is there? So that's one of the favorable frame situations. What I also like is on hit you're +6, so find moves that hurt your opponent if they're not if you hit them with this, for example. After sometimes I even punish 13 frame moves just with this jab. It's not the best idea, but it's not bad. It leaves you in very good plus frames. If you're not so accurate with punishing, it's going to work most of the times. You can play follow-up if you're at plus frames. I can show you. You can play like a very good option. If you have hit, you're at +6. So the sweep, only 14 frame move is going to trade. If you trade with a sweep, you can play your regular combo. You don't need to play special combo. You just play the forward 3-2 combo screw. And what you can do after hitting this one is also playing this one here. You're at +6 frames, it costs you 17, so it's pretty secure to play this one. And most people after this one try blocking, you're at +2 with a 15 frame move. It's a very good situation for you. You hit this one if they do anything. Of course, you could also try to launch them with this one here, with your DF2. But I don't know why. I don't use this move so much, but you could. It's safe, so you can play this. But also, this one here is gonna work nice. It's gonna launch them a lot of times. It's a good round starter, playing this one. Start with 10 frame, you hit, you go like this. Even if you block, some people don't respond in time. You're at -4 if you block, so it's not really good. But it's okay. You can go like this. Okay. So what other... keep this in mind. You have several other situations that allow you for the similar mix-ups. Find moves that you can play after neutral, after moves that are neutral on block and +5 or +6 on hit. That's what you want to do with lay. This one I can play this one. It's safe. If I don't hit it after this one, let's say my 1-2 gets blocked, I hit this one, it's getting blocked too. I just didn't really confirm my hits, and just out of habit I played this one. I'm not gonna get launched. It's not gonna, nothing's gonna happen. But on the other hand, if I hit and if I also hit this one, I'm in a very good position. And the same applies to all situations where you have around -1 or 2 and good plus frames on hit. And one of them is something that people don't really do a lot. Playing this one here. The forward neutral 4-1. This is the input for the wolf strike. So on hit, that's gonna leave you with +5, and you have the same options. Okay. Or play a grab. Or go for the sweep. Or just lie down. You have all the time then. On hit, this move is also -1. And that's really cool, because what some people are gonna do, if you play this one into the tiger, they're gonna hop kick, or they're gonna duck all of the time. They're gonna try, and then as soon as you hit them, because they know it's not interruptible, they will hold down to duck and guard the last one, or evade the last move of this one here, which is I call it the alternative wolf strike. I think it's called mid rush combo or whatever. I don't know. Point is, I call it alternative wolf strike because that's what it is. That's the one that people usually use, and this is like an alternation with a follow-up in a high that launches if it hits, and a follow-up at the low, but you don't really need to play it because you're at -6. Your opponent seems to be stunned, so there might even be more advantage to it. I would have to check this, and you can just play a low, play a sweep. So you can play this one. I think it's also interruptible, but yeah, this one is a good option because it knocks down. You can play this, but if people get behind it, you don't finish this one. You just do this, and then after it, play anything that you feel is good and has some range to reach your opponent, even with backdashing. And this D4 move is a fabulous tool of lay to achieve that, because it has a lot of range. It can't hit from here, but it can hit you on such a distance. This one has more range, I think, yeah, the D3, but the D2 allows for the transition. It's a 12 frame move only, not 16 frames like D3, so if somebody is constantly too far away from you, lay players underestimate the range usually of their D4, because it has just as much range as this one, I think. This one has more range, of course, but this one here has surprisingly less range than the D4. Keep that in mind, that's important. Because you will find yourself in situations where people like Li Xiaolan, for example, he's gonna create some pushback moves, play some pushback moves, and he's gonna end up a little bit farther away from you. and going to launch his next move. No, usually also in many times people use the pushback and then play a power crush move. They can also do that, but you can beat the power crush move and you can beat the range with a d4 in many times. And since they're not blocking, many people don't tend to block low, you can also use it as a little punisher. So at some point people will start to launch you or to pair you launch you with hop kicks or pair you. But this is a really good tool and it can win you a lot of rounds if you know it has one of the strongest ranges. It's the lace poke with the strongest range, I think. This one even has less, and it has good range already. So, for lay at least. Okay, so if you play this one, you're at -1. And what I usually do is I play the generic throw. I know it will come out at 15 frames. Is wrong here with the frame, but I think it's 12 frames, so don't get confused with this. But I'm not totally sure. Pretty sure, but not totally sure. So only a 30 frame move can beat this one here. And only on with a perfect response. People will not have a perfect response because if they duck you, if they do what I just said, if they duck you because they know they can hold down after several hits, what you can do is you just play this without transition and you hop kick. Yeah, or this one and this one. So this one is really important, and you can change this endlessly. I mean, of course, people have to. It's a little bit tough to input this and to get used to not transitioning into the tiger and to be very precise with your inputs. It really requires a lot of practice to know, I'm going to play this one and I'm not going to transition and then really do it, because many times you're going to, oh shit, I transitioned anyways. But of course, what you can do is just walk forward, try to parry too. But it's not going to work against hop kicks, I think. So this one, and then probably just jab. You're constantly in neutral, you know. This is, you can play this one, this one, this one, this one, you're neutral. It's -2. The headbutt, high crushing, -2. On hit, it has a knockdown. So this is also a move. So, and then there is the forward 4-2, leaves you exactly at neutral. On hit, it should be +5, I think. Let's see. And it even is a counter hit launcher. You hit the first one. So also very good move. It has is slow to come out, but if people guard it, you just play the first two. You throw them. You do the same game. If you hit, you can play this one. If you don't, you can even sometimes risk it. You create mix-ups. You're at neutral. That's a neutral move. So most people don't know this. Playing just 3-2 leaves you at -3. And at +7 on hit, or yeah, no, it's not +7. Let's see that. It's +8 even. So you're at massive plus frames. So this one, not playing the last one, creating these mix-ups with this one, very good frames. Of course, this is a high. People can duck it, but then you just the first is really negative. So if somebody ducks it, it's pretty much that. That's pretty much it. But on hit, it's -1 even, so that's pretty good. So you can just wait for someone to duck and then launch him. So the point is, know your neutral frame moves. This is really, really important. Also, is there anything else that's neutral? This is not. This is very punishable if you just play one. Let me think for a minute. What's also important to know is that the wolf strike is only -4. It doesn't really fall into the same category, but on the hit, I think I'm at -4. So, and once you're in dragon, I didn't know this when I started playing lay, you don't need the neutral input anymore. You play the wolf strike, you play a neutral input. Forward neutral 4-1. You don't need the neutral input if you're in dragon. If I'm in dragon, I can just hold forward and play this. So it's a true 10 frame. That makes the difference. And you can chain them endlessly, and then at some point go into the low. It's gonna. I once won a round against Tech and got primed by only using this move. I just chained it for 3 or 4 times, and I had a perfect round. Of course, it doesn't happen very often, but best people fall for this one because they will be afraid of the low. They will not be quick enough to respond here. They will be under pressure. They will be like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. What should I do? How should I get out? And that's what's going to happen. They can just jab you or play a 30 frame move if they're really quick, but it's a very dangerous situation for your opponent. And then, of course, you can do something like chain the wolf strike, and then don't transition. And you have access to moves that you don't have and that your opponent doesn't expect. Throw. That's really nasty. You do like this. Hop kick. This is something that you can do with your frame data. If you know you're in a favorable position, your opponent has to respond in perfect manner, with perfect timing to jab you out of it or something. That's a very good way to beat people with lay, and this frame data isn't really bad. Despite his plus frame moves like this one, or what else is a plus frame move? This one, I should use it more. I'm not using it much, but I think it's not a bad move if you know how to create the mix-up. For example, you could go like this, then play Power Crush. That would be a good way to apply it, I think, but I will have to test it. So you have these plus frame moves, okay. So far so good. But what you also have is, this is also a plus frame move, +2. Forward neutral, guard breaker. Forward neutral 2, the guard breaker. This is neutral 1, 2. You see lots of advanced lay. Also play this if people block a lot. Also neutral, same situation again. So you don't have to, and on hit, let's see what is on hit. It's -1 on it. So that doesn't fall into the category of having the plus frames on hit. But still, it's a good move because you know your opponent's most likely to block. That's when you use it. Bam, bam. Or just one in the throw. Lay's frame data isn't bad at all. It's not bad. You just have to know where it is good and when to transition and when not. So use these moves. This one, then move the 1-2 jab. Use the 1-2 jab. Use the wolf strike for 1 without transition. Use your frame data after being in the wolf strike, sparing out the last hit. Use the forward 4-2 to create these neutral mix-ups with plus frames on hit. Use the guard breaker, whatever, to find these moves and use them. Use this here. Also, this one is good against Azuka because it has a lot of startup frames, but it crushes highs. It's not necessarily good against her, but it's good against her that it's a headbutt and it's gonna hit her. If we are there already, what's gonna hit Azuka? This one. Back turn moves hit her a lot. I don't know if this one hits her, probably because it's an elbow, and this one because it's an elbow. It's important to know what you do against parry characters. So I'm just gonna show it because it came to my mind. This one works for sure. This one works. I think even this one works because the first one is an elbow. I think you don't really see it, but this could be an elbow, could it? So you would have to test this, but I think this one works, and you can combo after it if you're in a good timing. You have to use this one, but you can go and get a full combo out of it. I'm not really there yet, but if you do use this move or this one, with Xiaoyu it's especially tough, and I would not necessarily recommend going for this combo. With Xiaoyu, because she has short legs, so with Xiaoyu I would just run there and do something like this. With other characters I would try to launch them. I think Xiaoyu is a short leg character, and with these combos especially are very tough to do. So you have these neutral frames, but there is neutral frame. You're almost neutral after this one, you're in back turn, but maybe you have access to this one here, so it should come out with a true 10 frame. It's what people don't understand. There's difference, I think, by my labbing, by experience, a difference between a true 10 frame from back turn and one that's not. So there is no transition time added to this. Um, so you have these options to go and create mix-ups with your neutral frames. Do this. What else is there to do? What else is there to say? Um, I mean, there's basically a lot to say. Many people forget one of these plus frame moves. I'm not good at using it, but in theory I know how. From here, you have a very good move to use. It's this one here. Many people will think, I'm going to use this one and transition into Tiger and then launch. You can do that, especially at the wall. I think it's good. I don't know. I'm using it sometimes. People expect me to go something like this. I'm just playing something else. I'm just playing this. Takes more time, gets them out of their rhythm, out of their defensive rhythm, and then I launch them. So, but what you can also do is don't transition play this one here, then do some kind of thing with your +4 frames, which is quite okay. Sweep. Do whatever you want. You have your plus frames. You will know what to do with your +4. Practice this, because you can chain it like so, and they never know when you're gonna stop, and it's tough to interrupt. Okay, so you have several options out of this chaining, like this one, launched. Go into the full wolf strike. Go into the I messed it up. Go into this alternative wolf strike, as you call it. Yeah. Or just play into the neutral hop kick, or wolf strike, and the +4. And the good thing about this one also is why it is also a very good move. It's 17 frames, which is still quite okay. If you're in here, it knocks down a hit, and I'm transitioning into it directly now. You have to be really quick. This was even too slow. So, wait. What you do is this. Hey, don't do that. So, okay. Charge, dragon. Hey, I transitioned. So that's what happens. You transition accidentally. Yeah, because I want to play the combo. That's a tricky thing. Maybe you need a different combo, because I'm holding forward to combo, but I'm going to try it. Anyways, so if you hit this, you get a launch. That's the point. This one here. You gotta be quick. You gotta do it without transitioning. Okay. So I can get quite some decent damage out of it if people retaliate. So if you're into the dragon, you have so many options, so that's why dragon is so strong, and I'm all going to tell you why dragon is also strong. Because what's going to happen if you're playing a lot of Razor Rush, like you play a lot of Razor Rush, you transition, your opponent's going to hop kick. That's what most of the people do, because they know on block you're at not an advantage situation, and most lays are just very trigger happy. They just wanna get out there, mix up. They don't do something like this, tiger and then wait, or hey, panther and then wait, or whatever. They just gonna hop kick. They can also get you out of the panther with it. So I think at least, yeah. So on block, you're not in a good position. When you play this, if you play this Razor Rush, and people will auto hop kick you, you're at -15 no matter what you play. Cost you 30 frames. Goodbye. You don't have access to low frame moves with the tiger and the panther. You have the low with the panther, okay. But what you can, this also going to be launched by the hop kick. So what people do is they just hop kick. You will find opponents that will just hop kick you after a transition. Well, what can you do if you notice this? Check their frame data knowledge and see if they can get out of this habit. because maybe they can't. And this means what you do, you transition to dragon, you keep holding forward, you play the true 10 frame 4-1 wolf strike. You're gonna be at minus 30 frames, okay, I get it, doesn't seem favorable, but if they play this hop kick, you're 1 frame quicker. They can only trade with 13 frame move, I think. You're even 2 frames quicker, but they cannot launch you, and they will eat this one. They will eat this one. They always hop kick. You play this one, they will eat it. It's almost a guarantee. Okay, that's what they do. Bam bam. That's why the dragon is so valuable, because there you have access to your only true 10 frame move, even with from the snake. You can of course transition into snake, and you have access to this one, and you're gonna be in a very similar situation, but you can trade with the 40 frame move. It's also okay. You can do that. You can probably even carry better if you get into the snake, but people will not respond to the snake so quickly and so much. So if you want to get this habit out of them or abuse it, to hop kick after a stance transition, you get into the dragon and you play your wolf strike. Okay. Without a transition, you don't need the neutral inputs. It's a true 10 frame, and then with this one you can even float them. I think if they're playing a hop kick, you can float them with this one. Even the low hits, I think. So they hop kick and bam, 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 they eat the wolf strike. So that's what you can do, and that's gonna hurt your opponents. So watch them carefully. Of course, you can block. You can just then punish their hop kick. Best of all with a 30 frame move. But yeah, that's the power of the wolf strike that many people don't understand. Also, your opponents don't understand. Of course, I have access to the neutral one here. Okay, I have access to the only true 10 frame move. So this will trade with 13 frame moves on block, but your opponent has to find this out. Still, it's a trade. It could be her painful trade. I don't know. Depends on what he's playing. This is the thing. This is why I recommend playing dragon as your main transition. I think it's the strongest one. People will sometimes say the tiger is very strong or whatever. The dragon is pretty strong. The throw, I barely ever use it. But you can also play the low like this, and then this one. The low gives you +2, so you can. People will not expect it most of the time. You can play this one, and on hit, this one here is guaranteed, so you get this one free. The wake up, the while standing 4, you get it free and gives you +7 on hit. Similar situation. Low frame move, that's safe, because the problem with the wake up 3 is it has minus frames on hit, -5. So people, if you play anything after, people that are experienced are gonna punish you for it. They're gonna counter hit you, and people who know that even on block this is even launch punchable, this is gonna get you launched. So the best option most of the time for punishing is the Watchline 3. If you want to use it, it's 10 frame. It's 1 frame quicker than this one here, while standing 4. But this one gives you +7. You don't have reach to get there. It has a lot of pushback on hit, so you use your 16 frame like this, probably 16 frame. Forward 3-2 on hit, or this one doesn't even hit. So what you could do is you play this one here, the D3 doesn't hit too. So what you have is a little bit of a range problem. That's why I probably like to play this one here. But of course you could use these frames to set up another range attack like this, another neutral attack, or go into raise rush, whatever. This is what I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to show you things related to your frame data that are quite a bit of work to find out yourself, and still Lay has good frame data. Lay has good options if you know when to transition and when not. If you know you have access to these moves like from Dragon without the transition, this is a very good move. Um, yeah, that's what you can do, and of course you can mix up all of these moves. This one is where you can go to this one. Yeah. That's what I like to play. So what else do we have? Is there anything else? Or could we probably advance to the wall game for a minute? I think I want to go to the wall and show you some stuff that I play at the wall. And the strong stance, my position, by my experience, um, is is a stance that people don't use in the open very much because it doesn't have such favorable frame data. But there on wake up you have more time, so you get into the drunken stance. The drunken stance is incredibly strong at the wall because what you can do on wake up is like somebody wakes up, play this one if they stay grounded. Most of the people, if you play this one, they will get up, and since you're lying, they will crouch. So what you do at the wall is you play this, either this one, yeah, or you play like this, and I will have, and this one, and then this one again, and wall splats, whatever. You wall splat them with it. So the point is, this one gets them grounded. They think you are lying on the ground, and you will hit them with a low, but you don't. You do this, and it wall splats them, and then it depends. Yeah, somehow I don't get the wall splat here, but most of the time it even wall splats on the first one. Then you also get the second one as a wall splat, and then you can go for another low. And just a second, my phone is. Okay, I'm gonna catch that in a minute. What I want to do is still finish showing you some stuff for your wall game. What you can also do after people wake up is play this one here. You don't really need to play the last one because it's also a combo starter. Probably you can play something like this. I don't know. I will have to check it out. Well, I usually just play it through because I can transition and it gets into the grounded state very well. Something that people you will usually get to the wall by finishing something like this and play your max damage combo. Okay, so what you do. Well, let's do this later. Let's now start what you're doing at the wall. What I've seen people play is Tekken God Prime Lays is also this one here because it's plus on block. It involves wait a minute. That was not that. I wanted to change standing guard. +5. It's a 15 frame out of a sidestep. Maybe it takes a little bit more time to input, like 70 frames, I don't know. Because you need the neutral to achieve the sidestep. But it has a sidestep and it leaves you at +5, close to your opponent, and then you can just go mess him up with anything you want to do. So people play that and it really makes sense. You can also transition into the back turn like with the first one and mess with them. It leaves you at +1. It's important to know. So sidestep to back leaves you at +1, and it's also counter hit launcher. If I'm so that's why many lays play it actually. But let's see. There's the launch. So you can mix that up maybe. I'm not really I don't really have it incorporated into my game yet, but that's what you can do. Do this one, or just do one, and then this one is good at the wall. You can just at the wall. It doesn't have so much pushback. You can use that. It's totally valid because you can mix it up with this one or with your regular options, even the grab, or this one, And this one, if you know people are crouching, if you know people are want to hop kick you or something, this is not gonna work. No, you're at -7. So then you would just have to adjust in another way. If someone is hop kicking at your -7 in back turn, maybe you get a chance to block, I don't know. But they will be afraid of any of these options from the low, so maybe they will hop kick, I don't know, maybe it's the best option to get out of it. But the point is, even high rank players are gonna fall for some kind of these mix-ups from here. So, and it's a very strong thing at the wall. You can do this, it's guaranteed, but it doesn't even yield enough damage. So you do this, and then you do your max damage wall splat combo. You can pick him up with 3-2 cartwheel thing, up, back, 4. Also, you have access to your rage art. Let's check this out. Let's turn this on. Play rage on. You have access to your rage art. If you just instantly play it. Hey, okay. I'm not using my rage art a lot, so. But that's a situation where I would do it. 24 damage. Let's see what we get. Because there, the pushback is not very far. It's kind of splat at the wall. You get 65 damage out of it. So if you know someone has a little health, you have already conditioned him with a few highs, or you just want to try it because it works. People don't expect it at the wall. You do this. It's also, of course, a move you can play very well after what I showed you before, after doing the tornado kicks. Goodbye. What I want to do is show you something else still, and this is that this move here has a lot of pushback. It doesn't have so many pushback moves, but of course this one here, of course the neutral frame moves all should go very well at the wall, but this one is very good at the wall. You can go like this, and then they're close enough for a d4 into a transition. For example, also good is if you're d4ing them and they're used to eat the panther or whatever, you just go into this one, or you d4 after that. Go into neutral, throw them. If they're at the balcony, it even breaks them for 89 damage. Creates a wall break for 89 damage. And what you can of course do is play the sweep. There's not really a good follow-up. I don't have it. Someone may have a good follow-up, but that's why I'm not playing it a lot. It wall breaks though. But from the drunken, you also have one of the strongest options of lay at the wall, and I will show you why this is. Let's say we knock someone down, then we go into the drunken stance. Hey, did I set it to lower kick? Yeah, I still did. I want to have random. Of course, low kicks. Some wake up attacks are gonna beat whatever. But let's say you knock them down, and then you play this one. Okay. Wait a little bit. They get up, and then this one. Why is this move good at the wall? It catches people that are playing side rolls, I think. I'm not sure, but it catches people a lot if they're side rolling. I guess we should try this out. So quick roll right, second right, whatever. There, it catches them with a side roll, I think. So it's very effective. People side roll a lot at the wall. And what else does it do? If people, I set this to random again, if people just stand there, it's also going to catch them. Why? I'm just going to show it without changing anything here, because the whole throw has an animation of about probably a second or more. A second, I guess. And throughout this whole animation, it's I think active frames, what you call them, or I don't know. It's frames where you can grab. You can grab the opponent at the beginning of the throw, and you can grab them just at the end of the throw, and also in between. So while the people get up, sometimes they duck, and then they see the throw, and they think, ah, well, now I can get up. They get up, and they will still be thrown because the throw duration is so much longer than this here, or than this here, or than this here. Okay. What you also have is the mix-up with 3-4, 3-2, because it has very few frames on block, only -3, and you can play some stuff after this. You can play like bum 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 and launch them, and what you can do there then, I think, play another hop kick, this one, because you could also, sometimes I'm also just going like this, 82 damage. I think you can go like this even. 98 damage. So that's a good thing. If you launch some of this, don't forget to play the 4, okay? You have to do it quickly, because if you do it too slowly, you will miss the following hits, and it's gonna be a critical situation. What you don't want to do is play this one and then hit the first one, miss the second one, and eat a wake-up kick. That happens a lot of time, or even a launch. Somebody side rolls out of it and launches you. So you have to know that you've got to do this quickly here and with other situations. And if you notice you have been too slow, like this is a very bad situation. You don't want to get into this. Play the first one and stop. Learn that. Like so, like so, like so, and like this. Okay, 98 damage if you hit all of the hits, of course. If it's just the last one, that has so much reach. Something that people always underestimate, the reach of this move. 63 damage still. So, what I can say is that you have a mix-up here. You can go for this on hit, you're -1. On block, you're minus -1. No, that's not true. I think you're -3. Let's see. -1 is not correct. Standing guard, dude. CPU protection 2. Okay, that's what I have missed out before. You're at -3, and this means you can, if somebody anticipates the last one and continues to block, you can just throw him with up forward. Best throw to use here is the mix-up with a generic throw, and with up forward 1+2. Okay, the negative thing about this one is that it's gonna sometimes gonna get you out of the corner, put your opponent away from the wall. That's the problem with this move. This move you have the splat and you have to get close to them again. What I would recommend is use this move over the other generic throw. It's good to get away from the wall, maybe like this one here. But you will be so close to your opponent, you will eat wake-up kicks. I don't like it. You maybe plus on block, maybe plus, I don't know. You also maybe have some wake-up options, but somehow I never grew. I've never been too happy with this move. What I want is have control over the situation a lot, and I go like this, and then I go in again. That's the better one I like it better. But what you can do is at the wall, you go like so, and you create mix-ups. You go like this one, some jabs, and then if you launch them, you go for the combo I showed you before. So that's why it's good. Okay, but I wanted to show you all the drunken stuff. I got distracted from that. This is one of the most powerful moves on Wake Up. You can also play this in the open, but especially at the wall, this is a great move. Also, since I think it tracks to the sides. I would have to confirm that, but I think it tracks more than a generic throw. You have this one, and then you have the mix-up, the high-low mix-up, all this kind of stuff, like this one, and then well. Like this one and this one. On a wake up, it splats again. You can play just the first one of this one if somebody gets used to this one here, which hits a lot of time and splats because I don't know if it's a natural combo and hit. No, it's not. That was the answer. Counter hit. But it splats. It allows you to transition after it. It's a great move. And the first one is plus, so you can go like this and play 2 lows, be neutral again, or play this and throw, whatever. That's what you can do. What you can do is, of course, back turn, play this one here, back turn, play this. You gotta be quick though, or do it while somebody's waking up. What you also have is, of course, let's say, yeah, you have this one from Drunken, of course, too. You transition into Drunken, you can use this one. Get you some plus frames on block. What else? This one splats, but I barely ever use it. You have this one, but it's also a little bit slow. It looks like you could also get this one there. Oh, you can. But generally I use this one, the throw, and this one, and it's really, really strong doing this. And if you're finishing your combos at the wall, or you get into the situation of playing this one, you have the crane mix-up, which is great, because you can do something like, most people use different moves, but what you can do from here, of course, is the classic mix-up. Let's set this to standing guard. Let's set this to standing guard. What you can do, let's disable the wake-ups. Not set, not set. No, that's not good. Back up backwards, whatever. I can't launch it now. Well, okay, this is not good. I can't really demonstrate it well. But what you can do from here, of course, is play that classic 1, because that's going to give you plus frames 2. It's also one of Blaze's plus frame moves, and it's going to get you into back turn. Let's demonstrate it. It's honestly going to get you into back turn. Let's assume you played the cartwheel and you hit. Forward, you've got the crane transition. Backwards, you got the phoenix, and they both look very similar. It's a very crazy kind of mix-up for your opponent. You have 2 stances, different moves. Also, what you can do is not transition. So this is really valuable, because I will show this soon, but what you want to do now is go into the crane, and from there you have the classic mix-up with this one here. It doesn't show it, but you're plus 5. This is a 16 frame move as a startup. You see the first hit is 16 frames. So you can play something like this. You can play this, and since a mix-up, you can play the low. On counter hit, you get a free falling tree. Ah, okay. That was, yes, apparently it's not always free. Just depends on the wake up. Okay, interesting. Let's see. So, that's at the wall, but then you get the launch. That's pretty cool. I should check this. If you're in the open, you get the tree, but there's not enough pushback, so you will get anything else guaranteed, but whatever. Point is, you get into crane, you have this mix-up between the low and the high that leaves you in black turn with plus 5, and of course, if you're in back turn, you also have access to this one here, and you can go slide, do whatever you prefer. What else you have? You have from train. You have this one here, which is move. All of these move hits, it launches for massive damage, of course, but barely ever happens. I had it yesterday though, so it's not totally totally impossible situation to launch some of this. Oh no, something like this. But what you can also do, and most people don't know this, you just play the first two. And what I use, if you look at my inputs, to input it with the keyboard, I just use the 3+4 button because it triggers both hits. And I prefer to do it because I know that I'm gonna stop there. I'm just gonna mash them, and then they're gonna stop. Okay, I'm gonna mash, I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna be at +1. So I wait, bam, bam, and then another low. They expect the high, so they block high. And this is tricky because this low allows me for a transition into Panther, or on the other side into the snake, into the dragon, which is even better, because it allows me, well, let's show this again. +1, 12 frame move, almost guaranteed. They don't expect it because they know there could be a follow-up, and then you can just transition from there, do whatever you please. So yeah, I guess that is a good option, but that's not all. You have a lot more options. If you finish with the classical max damage wall ender, like so, is there any other option you have from here that's really valuable? I mean, this one splats, but I barely ever use it. It's 13 frames though, so it might, and it's safe, so it might be a good thing to do. But if you hold back and you get into the Phoenix, it looks almost alike. And then you have also really great tools. You can go into this one. If people like to stay grounded, you just finish like this, and then you give them all this massive damage. You know. See how much damage this does. If someone stays grounded, bam, that's almost, in many cases, a round ender because it takes like a chunk of health away from them, and it even leaves you in the position to go for additional mix-ups and or be at +3 frames on block. So many people don't play the Phoenix here, but it's sometimes I used to only play this one because it's so strong too. Use the Phoenix stance too, because there, if people side roll also, or if they duck, this one is slow enough to catch them when they're getting up again. It messes with their timing, and you're gonna be at -3. You can do a follow-up like this, or like this, or whatever. So get into the Phoenix at the wall occasionally. Play this move here sometimes if you know they're blocking high. It's also a very good round ender. Or you go like this here, and what you have access to there is incredible. It's your power crush move. Then what you also have, and this is underrated, this move at the wall, bam bam. It's a low, it hits them. Then people usually go crouching. You have the same mix-up that you have after this one here. It's an equivalent to this one, and it has very good range. People get confused because they're like, oh, what the shit is happening? What kind of weird move was that? You play this. Okay. This is what you can do. What else do you have from Phoenix? You have your unblockable, of course. People block a lot. You go like this. You just hold forward for goodbye. So these are all really good options. This move has too few range. Don't play it a lot. This move here. Oh wait. How does that work? This one here. It splats, but it has very few range, and I think it's unblock. It's not even so favorable. But let's see. Oh, it's -36 at least per notation here. Doesn't mean that's true. But that's the options that you have. use the Phoenix as well. And what you can also do, what people sometimes don't do and they neglect it, you knock someone down by with a. Of course, this is not an equivalent to the combo ender now, which I'm trying to demonstrate, but you can just transition. You can use your crane transition, get into the panther. People start hesitating. Go into the other side if they're a bit away. Use the poking of the snake. Finish the round by doing the transition to the other side, and then something they don't expect. Whatever you do. This mix-up is incredibly powerful, especially if you keep in mind that you can transition and that you don't even have to transition into two different stances that also look so similar that in the moment of the fight and the pressure, people will not be able to differentiate them so easily. So it's like Steve, he just goes and jabs you, everything looks alike and you're hit. So this one here, so similar to this one here, such a different set of moves. You have like 8 moves or whatever at your hand that you can use, and this is a really good mix up here. Okay, that's what you can do at the wall. Is there anything else? I mean, basically this is almost enough to finish off your opponent at the wall. You don't need so much more. What you can do is use your neutral pokes too, of course. Sometimes you do throws, sometimes you do your pokes, sometimes you throw, whatever you do. Lei is very strong at the wall. If you hit with this one here, I don't really know yet what the perfect follow-up is. If you hit it straight, you can get 3 to max damage combo, but if not, you can also get from here. You can also do something like this, but it doesn't really work if you're off axis, I think. No, I don't think it doesn't work. I hear it work, but I had several situations where it didn't, so be careful about this. But since it has a lot of pushback on block, it's a good move too, because people will be used to you doing different stuff there. And of course, what's also always good at the wall, to dragon annoy your opponents. Okay, you just do that at the wall. Play your annoying mix-ups with the wolf strike. Okay, so I think that's it for now. Is there anything else that is worth mentioning? I think there's a lot that's worth mentioning, but it's 2 hours now, and this should be enough to get you started, to get an idea where you can probably improve your game, to know some things that you will not necessarily see people using in tutorials. So, and it's not gimmicks, it's pretty valuable stuff, I think. It wins me rounds. That's what helps me to reach Fujin despite a general understanding of the game, and of course reading your opponent is important, especially with Lei, because people don't expect you to punish well with Lei, and the better you get with it, the more effect it has. Start with just jabbing everything with that shit, with that stuff, sorry. Start jabbing with a 1-2. Doesn't matter, you think it's punishable? I don't know what frames it has. Plus 6 frames. There we go. All that kind of stuff. That's what you can do. Okay, so I hope this is going to be somewhat interesting to someone. I hope it can help people that are advanced and those that are not. And of course, I'm pretty sure even that any of you is gonna have some additions. Just share them, please, because what I'm doing is trying to constantly learn, and yeah. But so that you don't have to go through all these 2,000 hours of gameplay and blabbing. If you're just starting off with Lei, think about these things just to play one after another. Pick out one or two things and try to apply them. You will downrank at first if you try to improve your game because you will have to learn the new patterns. Don't always think about max damage combos. Don't always, um, yeah, be creative. You can be creative with play. Look at your frame data, create favorable situations, and confuse your opponent. For example, one thing that I could show, what people sometimes do is lie down and stand up. It's really funny to do is you get up and then you jump forward like this. You do this. Have fun with the game too. Don't always try to be perfect. Play something like this. Then you go like this. Whatever. You play a lot of stuff. You can also just lie down, get up, lie down again. Experiment with these things. Get up. Mix these things up. Confuse your opponent. That's also part of Lay's game plan. But not only. So you can do these fancy things. Then here go fish for the hit or the counter hit. And the ballroom dance is something that I'm going to discuss another time. It's a very strong move. It gives you access to a lot of really good opportunities and mix-ups if you know how to do it. Okay, so that's for the next time. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Have fun with your games. Don't mind a downrank to learn one or two things. And yeah, good luck with your upranks, right?